This is an email from Robert on this morning, January 14th, 2023. It says, what is the point of making a statement in the Chicago Sun-Times paper on September 8th, 2021, letting the public know that back in 2019, a BOP disciplinary hearing officer, whom the government is calling Officer A, had illegally accessed all of my restricted government law enforcement information and shared it with a YouTube blogger, Tasha K. Tell the public that no charges were brought against the BOP Officer A and that there was an ongoing investigation into the matter. But then they never make a follow-up statement as to what happened with the investigation to me nor to the public, not even to my attorneys. To this day in 2023, 4 years later, I've been given closure to this supposed to be ongoing investigation. Me and my attorneys are now being denied of having full disclosure of the investigation, in which raises major concerns about the whole BOP Officer A matter, the same way it should be raising major concerns with the courts concerning this BOP Officer A stealing federal law enforcement information of mine and giving it to a blogger, Tasha K., who boldly said it out of her own mouth that she shared all my restricted law enforcement information with government witnesses, and not just any witnesses, but the star witness in my New York case. The BOP Officer A committed these crimes back in 2019, and Special Agent Matt Liu executed the search warrant on the BOP Officer A's desktop computer in 2020. And I was being detained in the MCC Chicago and had not yet gone to trial in New York. So that means the BOP was aware of Officer A's crime back in 2019, 2020. And when I went to trial in New York. Now, if the BOP knew about the Officer A's crimes since 2019, 2020, and 21, the prosecution in my New York case had to have also known about Officer A's crime against Athena-Africa Lives, all one word, .weebly, weebly.com /American Justice System in question. They had to also have known about Officer A sharing my restricted law enforcement information with the blogger Tasha K back in 2019 when it was first discovered and reported to the BOP and Internal Affairs by a BOP employee. The search warrant talks about the criminal activity going on between BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K, and that search warrant was executed in 2020, way before I had gone to New York for trial. However, they still flew me out for a trial that I feel should have been stopped until a full investigation had been done, not only on BOP Officer A, but also blogger Tasha K. The trial was 6 weeks, but it was 3 weeks before my verdict when the prosecutors informed my lawyers about an employee leaking some of my private information on the internet. But the prosecutors didn't go into detail. They just told my attorneys that it was being investigated. That's when I asked my attorneys if my trial was going to be stopped until the investigation was done. My attorneys at that time said the judge wasn't going to stop the trial. Now again, this was back in 2021. The trial continues on, and I get found guilty and sentenced to 30 years. And then 2 months later, I found out that it was just not some BOP employee, but it was a BOP disciplinary hearing officer, a judge for the BOP. I found out that this BOP judge illegally accessed all of my restricted information 153 times within a 6-month period in 2019. Then she sent a 12-page scan to her own personal Gmail account and shared all of the restricted private information with YouTube blogger Tasha K. Then here comes the blogger Tasha K saying she shared all of that restricted information with prosecutors in my New York case. The prosecutors knew all about this BOP Officer A and Tasha K crimes against me back in 2019 and did not let me or my attorneys know about it until 3 weeks before my verdict. And now here in 2023, 4 years later, according to my attorney, the prosecutors have denied me the conclusion of the investigation concerning the BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K. What are these people hiding? What are they protecting? This is the federal crime. This is a federal crime that was committed against me. So why am I being denied the closure of the investigation concerning that federal crime? What was the purpose of telling my lawyer back in 2021, 3 weeks before my verdict, that it was being investigated if they were never going to disclose the full investigation to my attorney in the first place? What I want to know is how can there be a federal crime committed against me by a BOP officer and a blogger, which is what the search warrant shows, and I nor my attorney are allowed to know the outcome of the investigation on the matter. If I'm the one whose federal law enforcement information was stolen and shared by the BOP Officer A, then that makes me a victim in this matter, which is why I should know the full disclosure of this investigation. Or did they investigate this matter or it to be shared only amongst themselves? The only way I can see them not wanting to disclose the results of the full investigation at this point is because it will expose something that could help me and my attorneys with my cases, because my restricted law enforcement information is just as important as every other prosecutor's piece of restricted law enforcement information with the courts. This is why it is called restricted in the first place. And my private restricted phone calls and emails being stolen by a BOP officer who works for the government and sharing that information with the YouTube blogger who then shares it with the government star witness, that investigation is just as important as the investigation they opened up on me. So let's not pretend otherwise. What was done to me by the mysterious BOP Officer A and blogger Tasha K was egregiously wrong. It was so illegal that it is unbelievable. Check out this link, AthenaAfricaLives.weebly.com, American Justice System in question. Africa Lives, all one word, .weebly, WEEBLY.com /American Justice System in question. Let me be clear, Tasha K did not say she shared my private information with the prosecutors in my case in New York. But she did say she shared it with the prosecutor's star witness in my New York case.